Siddhartha, who's a strategic thinker and earth scientist, is live with us from the national capital, along with Abhijit Chavda, who continues to be live with us. He's an astrophysicist based in Mumbai. And I'm going across first to Siddhartha. Siddhartha, you're an earth scientist. We were speaking to a few scientists from the private sector talking about the possibilities of what happens when we land on the moon. For example, different technologies being tested for future missions, perhaps. For example, if there is, if there are traces of water, to, develop the technology of engines that can perhaps use water for movement on the surface of the moon. That's what some private sector companies are also doing. The possibilities are many, isn't it, as far as the space program is concerned, and especially Chandrayaan-3.
Actually, when we see at the resource availability, then water is actually going to be in hydroxyl state. It's not like the type of water that we're going to find on the surface of the earth. It's not like you're going to find a pond or a lake or a river water. Now, this water is highly charged because it has been made in such a manner, it was made at such a time that it has been highly charged. It may be ionized, it may have absorbed some amount of gamma radiation as well, it may have absorbed some other type of radiation as well, possibly. So this is a water that may not be able to, someone may not be able to drink. And it may be a notion that this is a water that is a drinkable water. What may happen is, of course, with this resource, that is, we can use this hydroxide for the purpose of breaking it into hydrogen and oxygen. And after we have broken it, hydrogen is going to be both of them that we can go to use it as a fuel. Now, one of the basic aims of Chandrayaan happens to be probing the deeper space. And it becomes easy because it is going to be towards the South Pole. And because it is on the South Pole, the whole of the outer space goes on to become very, very easy. Now, it will become, moon will go on to become a launching pad or a transit point for moving deeper into outer space. Now, that is where some of the companies can go on to look for it. But in any case, if we have to build some type of a settlement, we have to go inside the surface of the moon, maybe build a settlement in that region, and that is where we can go on to think of using some more amount of water based on some amount of information that we are going to be having. That is going to be one component of the resource base as far as water is concerned. The other resources that are going to be available, and that is helium-3, because the moon's surface is going to be bombarded by very high energy particles from the sun, and it gets ionized, and that is how it has been able to convert it into helium. Helium-3 is what we're going to be having it, and that is going to be having a very good commercial utilization, largely because this is one component which can be used in a cold nuclear fusion. Mind it, cold nuclear fusion is pollution free. When you go for a process of a hot nuclear fusion, it is riddled with problems, and we are experimenting with International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor, and that will going to take a lot of time. Deuterium is going to be taking so much amount of a temperature, 1 billion degrees centigrade of a temperature, but with helium-3 it will become much more easy, and that is where commercial operation will go on to become much more better. So these are the two resources which will help us in this manner. Of course, the other is going to be, you do not know what type of a mineral that you can go to find, what type of an element that you can go to find on moon, and that can spur up the industries on the whole of the earth. A new industry will come up, a new component will come up, and it may go to revolutionize the entire of the telecommunication industry. We are unmindful of the fact, having said that, we are unmindful of the fact right now that some of the stones, some of the rocks, like green stone, which is going to be found in deeper inside the earth, is found on the surface of the moon, and that is something that we are going to be looking for when you go on for lunar mining.